Started here. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for attending our live 2020 CSUSB Graduate Program Expo. My name is John Paul Hernandez. I'm your Employer Relations Specialist for the Career Center, along with Jackie Aguayo, your Event Coordinator for the Career Center. We will be your host for today's virtual events. This webinar will be recorded and shared via email, also uploaded to the Career Center's YouTube channel. Before we get started, I'd like to go ahead and go over a few functions available to you during the presentation. Your microphone will be muted throughout the presentation, and in the bottom center of your screen, you'll see a Q&A chat option. This is where you can ask questions throughout the presentation. Some questions may be answered during the presentation. We may save some also for the Q&A portion at the end of the presentation. Now we're going to go ahead and turn it over to our presenters from the Office of Graduate Studies. Take it away.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming so bright and early in the morning. I'm Caroline Vickers. I'm the Director of Graduate Studies, and I'm here with April Lane, who is the Graduate Resource Specialist.
Morning.
And Megan Canali, who is the Graduate Student Engagement Specialist.
Morning.
And Irma Cross, who's the Graduate Recruitment Specialist. So we're going to share some information about CSUSB graduate programs generally, and then you'll have a whole day to explore in more detail graduate programs in the various colleges, and some of our larger programs are presenting on their own. So yes, we're going to explore graduate education in 2020. An interesting year it's been. Okay, so, you know, one of the things about graduate education is that it actually does increase your earnings over a lifetime. So how much do people with a graduate degree, how much more do they actually earn over their lifetime? It's quite a significant amount. I'm trying to open something right now that's not opening.
Caroline, do you want me to bring it up?
No, that's okay. I'm getting it open. Okay. There we go. I'm not going to share it with you, but I'm just going to talk to you about it. So yeah, people with master's degree make an average of $2.6 million more over a lifetime compared to those with a bachelor's degree. So the people with a bachelor's degree make $2.2 million over their lifetime. So that's a difference of $400,000. So you can't be a marine biologist, social worker, psychologist, school administrator, or a local government manager without a graduate degree. Many fields require or strongly encourage master's degrees. Fields such as education pay more to employees with graduate degrees. So yes, you know, you do earn more over your lifetime. And also people with master's degrees are less likely to be unemployed. So there's a lower unemployment rate for those people with master's degrees. Okay, next slide, please. All right, so the undergraduate experience is about learning. But your graduate education will be about doing, researching, teaching, creating, and innovating. And next slide, please. All right, so today you're going to learn all about our graduate programs at CSUSB. So we're starting today with a general overview of graduate programs. From 9 to 10, the College of Arts and Letters will present on their graduate programs, including programs in studio art, English, communication studies, and Spanish. So then you'll have the Jack H. Brown College of Business. They always put a "the" in front of it. They'll present, you know, generally on the MBA program, MPA program, accountancy, entrepreneurship and innovation, and MSIST, which is information systems, Masters in Information Systems. And then the College of Education will present not only on their master's programs, but also on their teaching credential programs. So if you're interested in being a teacher, that's the place that you'll want to be from 11 to 12. From 12 to 1, College of Natural Sciences will present on their programs such as biology, geology, mathematics, computer science. So nursing is another one. So that's the place to be from 12 to 1 if you're interested in those programs. And then from 1 to 2, Irma Cross will be there to chat with you. So if you just want to chat, if you're not really sure which programs you're interested in and you want to talk that through with somebody, Irma will be there from 1 to 2 to talk to you about that. And also, you know, if you have interest in programs such as psychology or criminal justice, Irma will be able to talk to you about those programs. And then from 2 to 3, we'll have the MBA program presenting on their own. It's a large program with several concentrations, as well as an online option. So they're going to talk to you about that individually. And then from 3 to 4, the Master of Public Administration will be there to talk to you. And from 4 to 5, the Master of Social Work program will be there to talk to you. So those are some of our larger programs. So they're going to present individually. All right. So yeah, so our graduate alumni really do make a difference. So not only do a lot of our graduate students go on to prestigious PhD programs, but we have people who've graduated from our master's programs who are distinguished authors, local and state politicians, business leaders, education leaders, performers, and community activists. So you'll notice people like Ted Alejandre, who's a graduate of CSUSB, who's the superintendent of the San Bernardino County Schools. Isabel Quintero, who's a famous author who graduated from the MFA program in English at CSUSB. And Michelle Skilgen, who is the director, I think it's called the Women's Resource Center in San Bernardino. So, you know, these are some really distinguished people, and it's just an example of a list that's much larger. Okay, moving right along. Okay, I'm going to turn it over to April and Irma to talk about some of the financial opportunities we have for our graduate students.
Hi, everyone. Okay, so just briefly, as shown on the slide, there's several different opportunities that may be available to you as graduate students to help fund your education. We have our Graduate Equity Fellowship, and I'm going to pull up our website in just a moment to just give you a brief overview of these and where to find more information on them and also how to apply. Our State University Grant, our Student Research and Travel, our PreDoctoral program, and also our Chancellor's Office Doctoral Incentive Program. So give me just a second. There we go. I literally meant a second. So on our website, it's pretty easy to reach this from our homepage. Go over to financial support, and then you can pull up a page on all the different funding opportunities, the one we just spoke about. Briefly, I'm going to go over the Graduate Equity Fellowship. This is a fellowship which seeks to increase the diversity of students completing graduate degree programs at CSUSB, and also it is designed to encourage students and recipients of the scholarship to continue on into doctoral programs to eventually come back as faculty within the CSU. And it is open to economically disadvantaged CSU students, first generation, anyone that's overcome educational disadvantages, and to promote mentoring within your graduate program. And as you continue on, then hopefully as a faculty member, mentoring and research opportunities are so great in for graduate students to have those opportunities. So this fellowship can really help. The application for this Graduate Equity Fellowship is done through the CSUSB scholarship portal. If you've ever applied for scholarships through the university, you go through that same portal. Typically opens on January 1st. We don't have a date yet for this upcoming year, and the deadline is typically March 2nd. There are a few requirements. You have to be a California resident or an AB 540 student. You have to be admitted to a master's program on the effective date of the award, which is typically in fall. You have to complete the FAFSA or the CATA to demonstrate the financial need of at least $1,000. You have to be enrolled in at least part-time, half-time as an eligible graduate student. And then you do have to be able to demonstrate your ability to succeed in a two-year program. Now, we're not going to hold you to that, but through letters of recommendation and through your personal statement within the application, that's what we're going to be looking for. There are two funding opportunities in this fellowship. There's the program fellowship, which you can be awarded between $500 and $2,000. And then the top awardees within each graduate program will go on to be reviewed for a graduate studies fellowship, which would actually, for each college, would award you $4,500 if you were the recipient to one student within the college. You wouldn't be eligible for both. So if you won a $2,000 award and then you were awarded the $4,500, the other award, a program award, would go to somebody else. But you would get the $4,500, which goes quite a ways in funding graduate school. I'm the coordinator for this program. You can reach out to me. Financial aid eligibility is determined by the Office of Financial Aid and Scholarships, and their contact information is there. We're actually going to be offering a workshop, I believe it's on September 30th, on funding your graduate education. So I would encourage you to find that on our website, on our homepage. You'll see the calendar of events and to sign up for that. The State University grant is also another opportunity to help fund your application. It is, or your program, your graduate program. It covers up to tuition fee costs, but doesn't cover any additional campus charges. This is determined by financial aid. It's not a guaranteed award. I always recommend that when you've decided that you're going to come back to graduate school, to go ahead and complete that FAFSA as early as you can, so you have the best opportunity to be awarded this fellowship. It is dependent on funding, and information on that can be found in the Office of Financial Aid and Scholarships on their website. So let's see, student research and travel. This is also dependent on available funding, but typically you can be awarded up to $1,000 a year. This is really to help you as an undergrad even, or as a graduate student. Right now, travel is not allowed, but at some point we're going to be able to travel again. And it also helps support your research. It gives, even if you are attending a conference virtually, it may help you with funding the conference attendance. It can help you with your honors project, master's thesis, or project. And they have workshops every month that you can attend, and more information to find out about this research and travel grant is available in the Office of Research website. And Danielle White, and her contact information here is also available. She's the coordinator of that program, and she will be happy to assist you with that. Irma, did you want to go ahead and talk about the PreDoctoral and the Chancellor's Doctoral Incentive Program?
Sure, thank you. For the CDIP, which is the California State University Chancellor's Doctoral Incentive Program, which is a long word, it increases the number of promising doctoral students applying for future CSU faculty positions. The program is open to new and continuing full-time students, for undergrad, master's, graduate students applying for doctoral programs, and lecturers enrolled in full-time doctoral programs. The nice part about it is the loans are about $10,000 per year, up to the total of $30,000. Now the deadlines are in January, so I'm going to have some information sessions starting in September, and then it'll turn into workshops so that we can help with any kind of application questions anything to do with just writing your actual paper, which we'll go over that as well. You'll have a mentor. So I don't want to overwhelm you with that, but we'll talk more about that. Now, the advantage is that you'll be able to not only get the loan, but you'll have the mentorship of CSU faculty. And it is applicable to new and continuing full-time students, okay? And that's it on that. And for the California PreDoctoral program, it provides financial assistance for students, undergrad and grad, which is great. It's actually financial, actually it's free money, okay? So it's always wonderful to have that free money. Again, it's about $3,000 and it's funded. You also are funded for summer internship opportunities, which is pretty awesome because I went to an event and there was UC schools offering different kind of summer internships for free, just preparing you for PhD level programs. So it was just amazing for me to see that. Now, in regards to deadlines, we are very, we need to have you done at least before January. And again, I'll start the actual workshops in September and all that will be given, hopefully blasted, what I call emails will be sent, hopefully by September. Other than that, the deadlines again are in January and the sessions and workshops begin in September. The fun fact is that both of these are funded by some of your lottery money. So that's always a nice caveat to all this. So hopefully I'll be able to go over that with you and I'll have my information on there and you'll be receiving some flyers and brochures hopefully within weeks. And we thank you and we hopefully want you to take advantage of these following financial support. So we are here for you. So don't feel like, okay, I don't want to go because this and that. We definitely walk you through it. So thank you.
And you can definitely find any of our upcoming workshops or other events on our homepage of our Graduate Studies website. So keep an eye out for that because we'll definitely keep those updated. The one I was just referencing a few minutes ago is Funding Your Graduate Education. Irma and I will both be there as well as Megan to talk about completing the application process, the different options available to you, and then also Megan's expertise in writing any kind of personal statement. Okay, so still me. So basically the application process, if you've known anybody who's applied to graduate school in past years, it was a bit daunting, but we have really worked diligently to help applicants with this process. And it's a pretty straightforward process now. When you find a program, you've worked with Irma, for example, you've come down to this is the program I want to apply to, you go on to the Cal State Apply application. And I can briefly show you where to find the super quick way to get there. We offer, Megan and I, and Irma is often there as well. We do offer monthly application information sessions. We are offering the next application session on October 1st, and we'll go over, it starts off with a quick introduction. This is who we are, this is what we do. Megan will then talk about writing a stellar personal statement. And then I'll go over an entire Cal State Apply graduate or credential application section by section. As you can see over here in this photo, there's 4 quadrants within this application. And I will walk you through every one of these quadrants and give you some tips on how to complete your application quickly and get through that process. Let's see. And then, whoops, as I mentioned, the presentation on how to write your stellar statement of purpose, Megan will also present on that. We really do work as hard as we can to help you with the application. We do offer a survey at the end of the workshop, because it's our desire to really develop workshops and information sessions that are helpful. So we do encourage you to attend one of these workshops. We do have an opportunity drawing after the workshop if you complete the survey for an application fee waiver, which is $70. So we do hope that you can attend and get your application completed. When Irma's able to attend these workshops, which she usually does, you also have the opportunity to go in and meet with her privately to talk about graduate programs. And then you can pop back into the main room of the session. Man, my finger just keeps clicking on this thing. Sorry about that. And then we'll be able to, then you can come back into the session and hear the rest of the presentation on completing your application. On our website to easily apply. Oh, and here's our October 1st application session. So just click in there, register for it. When you're ready to apply, you click on the green button and you're taken right to the application.
Okay, so I'm going to talk to you guys about, getting accepted into a graduate program. So, our programs have different requirements depending on how impacted they are. So some of our programs are more competitive than other programs. But at the, in terms of the university requirement, we require 2.5 GPA to be considered for a graduate program. So we really want to include you. We're not trying to exclude. So we'll make a few different calculations to calculate up your GPA. We might look at your whole cumulative GPA from your whole undergraduate career to see if that's a 2.5. But we'll also just look at your last 60 semester or last 90 units to see if that calculates up to a GPA. To a 2.5 GPA, and then that would qualify you, for a graduate program. And if you've had some graduate coursework, we'll even look at your graduate coursework to see if that would qualify you for the GPA requirement. So we really want to include you. We want to find, a way to get you to that 2.5 GPA to make you eligible for the university. Now, keep in mind, like I said, that some graduate programs require higher than a 2.5 GPA. So you want to stay in touch with your program coordinator and talk to that person about the GPA requirements for that particular program. And keep in mind also that, that you should also, if you don't have the GPA that you need to get into that program, again, communicate with that coordinator about other ways that you might be able to qualify for the program. So just, remember that the 2.5 GPA or the higher GPA for some programs does not mean necessarily that you absolutely won't qualify for the program. There might be other things that you can do. So yeah, stay in touch with our office, talk to Irma and talk to the program coordinator. And, like I said, we really, want to include you in our graduate programs. We're not trying to be exclusive here. All right. So yeah, you might be wondering, what's graduate education like right now, now that we're virtual? So fall instruction is primarily online, just like in your undergraduate education. We don't know what spring 2021 is going to be yet, whether it's going to be online or in person. We're keeping our fingers crossed that it will be in person. But in any case, we're ready to serve you virtually. So as April mentioned, we have several workshops and events that are happening virtually. So Megan's going to talk to you about that in just a minute. But the other thing is, just in terms of our student body, we're very much the same. So I wanted to talk to you for just a minute about graduate students at CSUSB. So, they often collaborate with their CSU professors on publications and grants, and they drive innovation. So, that's still happening. Those things are still happening. Graduate students are still working closely with their professors on publications and grants and presentations. That's still going on. Our graduate students serve as research and teaching assistants, mentors, tutors, and role models for thousands of CSUSB undergraduates each year in the classroom and the lab. So that's still happening too. Our graduate students are still serving as teaching assistants, research assistants, tutors, you know, so that they're still serving in those roles. Graduate students, you might not know this, but graduate students are about 1 in 10 of the students at the CSUSB campus. So, you know, we have quite the presence at the CSUSB campus. We have quite a few graduate students. A lot of our graduate students continue on to prestigious doctoral programs after completing the master's degree at CSUSB, and that's still happening. We still have students applying to and successfully entering doctoral programs nationwide. Our graduate students also do internships in the local community, and they do service projects in the local community. And even though we are virtual, those things are still happening too. So also, our graduate students form community with each other through graduate studies events, mixers, and workshops. Those things are still happening virtually, and I'm going to turn it over to Megan to talk to you more about that.
Thanks, Caroline. So yes, virtual events and programming are definitely still going on here at Cal State in the Office of Graduate Studies. We did actually just have our graduate student orientation 2 Saturdays ago. That had almost 400 graduate students that were newly admitted for the fall 2020 term. And we were joined by a panel of about 12 other department representatives that were able to go over what their departments are able to offer graduate students exclusively. So right off the bat, if you're admitted to grad school, you're going to have your orientation in August to go over what kind of opportunities are available to you as a grad student. Coming down the pipe here in the next couple of weeks, about a month, we have our 3rd annual Graduate Education Week. So that week is almost exclusively for graduate students, but we do have a few things that you guys can attend right now as undergrads that we encourage you to attend, which is our graduate program information session. So if you're interested in grad school, but you're not quite sure which program is the best for you and you have a couple different ideas, that's a great program for you guys to come out and join us for. Because you will be able to be separated into breakout rooms with the program coordinator of the program that you're interested in. And you can meet with multiple ones. So if you're interested in the clinical counseling program, plus the industrial and organizational psychology program, and maybe MSW as well, you can kind of pop into different breakout rooms and meet those coordinators and ask the different questions that you may have about those programs to try to whittle down which one is the best for you. You can also always make an appointment with our recruitment specialist, Irma, but sometimes it's nice to be able to meet with our representative directly from that department. And then like April had mentioned earlier, we run those application workshops monthly. So we will be offering one of those application workshops during that graduate education week as well, that you are more than welcome to register to attend. And like she said, we do offer a giveaway at the end of the session where you can win a complimentary coupon code so you can submit your application for free. It's a $70 application, so that's a big chunk of savings right there. And then, like I also mentioned, we're going to be doing a funding workshop during that week as well, where you and other graduate students can see what kind of funding is available to help you get through grad school. So for other events that we have going on, for example, during that week that are geared more towards current grad students, is we have a discussion panel where we're going to hear from faculty members from the different colleges that are going to talk about how to move through academia as a woman. We're going to be offering a networking mixer where we also have a specialist coming in on how to identify your personal and professional brand going into grad school and moving on beyond graduation. We're going to be recognizing our outstanding thesis award winners. So those who decided to write a thesis at the end of their graduate programs as their culminating experience and may have won awards for their writing, we're going to recognize them. And then a couple of other workshops that are going to be confronting things like imposter syndrome. If students feel like, you know, they don't know that they have the confidence or skill set to actually be in grad school, even though all the evidence, you know, pointing to the fact that they were admitted to grad school and are actually doing quite well points to the contrary. We're going to be talking about how to do, how to prioritize your commitments in grad school, as well as your home commitments, your work commitments, and things like that, how to balance that, especially in a virtual platform. So we've got a lot of really great things just in that week alone. We have 17 events in 1 week. So if that doesn't tell you that we're still offering programming, even while virtual, I don't know what will. But we're really excited about that week coming up. We're going to be offering a mixer next April as well, the graduate student mixer. And then we've got a lot of really great things lined up for when we are able to go back to campus. Going virtual did kind of take a little bit of a hit on a couple of programs like our 3-minute thesis. So that's going to be a school-wide competition to give a summation, a 3-minute summation of a student's thesis on a stage to a panel of dignitaries that are going to be judging, and then they can win some great prizes and go on to compete at a regional or national level. So we've got some really great things going on, both virtually and really great things planned for when we come back to campus. So all of those things are going to be available to you as a grad student. We also have something called the PREP program. It's the Professional Resource and Engagement Program. So basically what that is we have different columns for how we ideally would like students to be engaging in different programming to prepare them for their professional futures. So anything to do from financial well-being to wellness to communication, writing, innovation, things like that. So we offer different workshops that can fit into those criteria. But we also mine different events that are going on campus that are being housed by different departments, like the Career Center, for instance. And we advertise those on that prep page as well. So we ideally want to make sure that after you've defined your future here at CSUSB, you can prep for it as well. And one of the Okay, and so next slide. So that's how you get in contact with us. We are answering our phones. Our phones are actually forwarded to a Skype link and that our assistants in the office are answering. So if you would like to give us a call and chat about any questions you may have, they are available. You can email gradrecruitment@csusb.edu, and that will go directly to Irma Cross and her student assistant, and you can ask any questions that you have about different programs that might be available, or book a session with her if you'd like to talk with Irma one-on-one. And we also have the live chat option on the Graduate Studies website. And that one is not, it's a live chat as in an actual live chat. So there's somebody, we have student assistants on the other end waiting to answer your questions. It's not like one of those, you know, here's some helpful articles to answer your question, which sometimes don't end up being all that helpful anyway. But there are actual student assistants waiting to talk to you over live chat. So, you know, we're definitely reachable during this time, whether by phone, email, or live chat, and we are happy to assist you. So please feel free to contact us with any of your questions at the end of the expo today that you may still have for us. It looks like we've got some questions. So one of the questions, I don't know if they all got deleted before when the session kicked us off. So if you have questions, maybe go ahead and retype them into the Q&A box. I know one of them had asked about your GPA. So if you have a slightly lower GPA than you would like when you're applying to grad school, you have a couple different options. If you're still attending school, then obviously for your undergrad, then obviously you have the opportunity to raise that GPA by your current classes and being able to bump that GPA with higher grades. If you are rejoining us after having left CSUSB and already gotten your undergraduate degree, and now you're looking to come back to a graduate degree and you'd like to boost your GPA, you have a couple options. You can go through Open University on campus. So you can be taking classes as a non-degree seeking student just for the purposes of boosting your GPA. You would need to talk to the College of Extended Learning about that. They have like a whole informational panel they can give you on how to register for that and tuition and things like that. Or if you want to go ahead and go through like a local community college or anything, you can do that and send us copies of those transcripts and we can work that into your GPA as well. Our advice is to usually consult the coordinator of the program that you're interested in to kind of develop a plan to see which classes they may recommend that you take to boost your GPA. So you don't want to just, you know, go take basket weaving just for the sake of getting some sort of class to boost that GPA. You might want to take classes that actually lend towards that particular program that you're interested in. So definitely contact that program coordinator. And if you're interested in going to the graduate program information session on September 31st, I believe it is. No, October 1st. You can actually meet with that program coordinator and ask those questions one-on-one. Can we apply to more than one program, and can we complete a program and a certification at the same time? Caroline, did you want to address that question really quick so you do it so nicely?
Okay, so in terms of applying to more than one program, you know, when you apply to grad school, I recommend that you know, have sort of a vision for which program you want to go into. Because, you know, you're going to have to put together materials, ask for letters of recommendation and that sort of thing. But, you know, there are some cases like people might say, well, you know, I want to apply to clinical counseling psychology, but I might also like counseling and guidance and education. So, you know, we can redirect your application. So if you decide that you would rather apply to this program instead of that program, it is possible to redirect your application to a different program. So, so that's certainly possible. What was the second part of that question? The certification. Yes, you can complete certifications at the same time as masters. So for instance, a lot of people do their teaching credentials and their masters at the same time. Of course, if you're in the master's program, it will be a little bit more coursework, so you'll be in school for a little bit longer. But I think that's a really good route to take, you know, to do the certification and the master's at the same time, because a lot of the coursework overlaps. So yeah, let's see, we've got some other questions here. What are the impacted majors for grad school? So the ones that are really competitive, because I mean, basically we get, you know, more applications than we have slots for people, would be like Masters of Social Work. That's one that's pretty impacted. Clinical counseling psychology is another. Counseling and guidance in the School of Education or in the College of Education is another that's pretty impacted. So yeah, computer science is another one that is pretty competitive to get into. So, you know, but you know, if you're interested in a program, you know, it's more than just GPA that you know is important here. So, you know, you should really talk to the program coordinator. You should talk to Irma Cross, our graduate recruitment specialist, you know, because there might be other factors. There might be other things that you bring to the table besides just, you know, your GPA that would make you a really good candidate for one of those programs. So, you know, just stay engaged with it. You know, don't just dismiss it because you say, oh, I don't have, you know, this really high GPA. You know, talk to the program coordinators and our resource, Irma Cross, in the Office of Graduate Studies. Let's see, can we apply for a different major other than our undergrad major for the graduate program? Yes, you can. It might mean that you're going to be taking some prerequisite courses, you know, but we actually admit people conditionally classified to grad programs. So if they haven't met all the prerequisite requirements, they can enter the program and take prerequisite courses, you know, while they're actually, you know, enrolled in the graduate program. So that's a possibility. Of course, if you're missing too many of the prerequisites, if you don't have, you know, some of the qualifications, that might affect your admission to the graduate program. And again, I would encourage you to talk to the program coordinator about your qualifications and what that means. But typically with programs, there are a certain set of prerequisite courses that they want you to have. And so it's doable if you have a different major and you want to go into grad school for something else. You know, it's definitely very doable. Okay, any other questions? Did I hit
Yes,
everything?
so we have some
Yes.
questions here in the Q&A. So one says, when should I be taking the GRE?
Okay.
Right now, so for fall, basically all of the graduate programs did waive that requirement for entry into their graduate programs because all of the testing centers were closed due to COVID-19. Spring 21 is still a little bit up in the air. We don't, most graduate programs haven't given a determination on that just yet, since we don't know how the testing centers are going to
Well, the thing is,
operate here
also,
shortly.
most of our programs don't require the GRE. So, you know, it really depends. It's just a very specific set of programs that require the GRE. So it would really depend on which program you're interested in. But again, stay in touch with your program coordinator, go to the website of that particular program and look at what the requirements are for admission, you know, when the application deadline is for that program, because that's going to determine if the GRE is required for that program. That's going to determine when you should take the GRE, is really the application deadline. So go to the website of the program. It'll have detailed application information. And you can also go to our website, and we have application information for all of the programs. I don't know if April's able to share her screen, but you know, any case, you can go to our website and you can go under prospective students and you can explore graduate education. So you can look at all the different programs and all the different application requirements and the deadlines for those applications. So the deadlines vary for graduate programs. They're not all the same. Some of them, like social work, are as early as February. Others are as late. I'm talking about for fall admissions. Like if you're applying for fall 2021, you know, that one might be as early as February, but then you have others that are as late as July. So, you know, you just really have to look at the particular program. It's not like undergrad where you have one deadline, right? You have to get that undergrad application in by November 30th. It's not like that for grad programs. The other thing is that grad programs, many of them have spring admissions. So if you didn't want to wait till fall 2021, you could apply for some programs for spring 2021. So you just have to explore what that particular program's application deadlines are, what the requirements are. And again, you can go to our website under prospective students to find that information, or you can go to the website of the particular program.
And also the information sessions that are coming up, just an FYI, that's important. And even at the virtual chat that I'm going to have later, we'll have some information about that, and we can answer some of the Q&As.
Great. Yeah, thanks, Arma. We've got some other really good questions. So where can I find the GPA for the Master's in Marriage and Family Therapy program? So we have a program in clinical counseling psychology. So again, you can go to...
Hey, Jackie.
Hi, so I'm a little confused. What's going on?
Oops, I don't know. Anyway, so we have a master's program in clinical counseling psychology, and you know, you can go to their website, or you can go to our website under prospective students to find out what the GPA requirement is for that particular program. How much will a graduate degree cost? So a graduate degree, you know, at CSUSB is actually very affordable. So you can go to the tuition and fee structure, you know, on the CSUSB website to look at what the tuition is. It's a little bit higher than the tuition for undergraduates, but not a whole lot higher. So you're paying, you know, somewhere around $8,000 to $9,000 a year. Some programs like MPA and MBA have some extra fees, so they're a little bit more expensive. But yeah, again, I would encourage you to go to the CSUSB fee and tuition structure page, and that will tell you what you would be paying for each program. Yeah. Oh, April brought it up, or somebody brought it up. Okay. Yeah. So you can see what the for fall 2020 and spring 2021. If you're full-time, it's, the full-time fee structure is more, part-time fee structure is less. So it's, it just depends. And then some programs, like I said, have some extra charges per unit. So that would be the place that you'd want to look to see how much your program would cost. And then again, I would encourage you to look into some of those financial opportunities that we have for graduate students. Let's see, I graduated in winter 2020. Do I need to reapply to CSUSB to take part in the College of Extended Learning? Yes, so you would need to actually, I don't think it's really an application with the College of Extended Learning. I think that it's more just enrolling in courses through the College of Extended Learning. So it's not a formal application in the same way that it would be for a graduate program. Let's see, can we work with faculty on research as alumni? Likely, yes. So you would need to contact the individual faculty member and, talk about what it is that you're interested in working on. It just depends on if that person, needs assistance in any way, I suppose. Okay.
Looks like there was one other question in the chat that asked about fee waivers for applications. So like we mentioned, you can, if you come to one of our application info sessions, we do offer a giveaway where we do a coupon code at the end of the session for answering our survey. So you can, that's one way that you can win a coupon code. If you would like to apply for an application fee waiver, we can put it in the chat box of who you would email asking whether there is an application for fee waivers. If you would like to email this, our grad admissions team, and ask for that application, and they can send it to you. So I'm going to put it in the chat, grad admissions at CSUSB. Grad at CSUSB. Okay. Yeah, so it just went out to everybody. So if you would like to send them an email and ask for that application for a application fee waiver, please do so. I'm looking through the chat and the Q&As, and I'm not seeing any other questions. And I know that we needed to wrap it up for the next session. Perfect. So I will turn it back over to you, John Paul.
Great, great. Thank you so much for the great questions, everyone. And of course, to all of our representatives from the Office of Graduate Studies. Wonderful presentation, great deep dive. For all of our participants, please complete our short survey. You can go ahead and scan the QR code on your screen now. Not only is your feedback greatly appreciated, you'll also be entered into an opportunity drawing for exclusive Career Center swag. So go ahead and click that QR code. If that doesn't work for you, we'll go ahead and put the link as well in the chat box. You'll see that now. Next slide, please. The Office of Graduate Studies will also be hosting a graduate program information session on October 1st from 12 to 2 p.m. Register today. You'll see a QR code on your screen as well. This is another great opportunity to meet with various program coordinators, learn application requirements, and also get any great tips on how to submit a competitive application. You can register